Hi everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with Scrapping for Less and their July 2020 Flavor of the Month card kit, and this month's theme is In the Tropics. So as always, let's start with our reveal, and let's look at the wonderful goodies that we get inside. As always, the two downloads that will be available, the links will be down below in the video description, will be for the ingredients and also the sketches. For the cardstocks, you will get 2 sheets of the Accent Opaque 100 pound, Limeade, Snow Cone, Tangy Orange, Black Licorice, Shocking Pink, and Cotton Candy. For Collection 1, it is called Tropic Vibes, as is the paper pack and also the stamp. Both are by Scrapping for Less, and this one will come with ephemera, also designed by Scrapping for Less. The images were absolutely adorable on that stamp set, were they not? I'm just saying, as are these pieces of ephemera. Y'all know that I love pieces of ephemera. I'm just saying. Enamel dots were by Gina Marie Designs. Collection 2 is called Tropical Fruit, as is the paper pack and also the stamp set by Scrapping for Less. Cute pineapples there. You also get some twine by Desiree and again, enamel dots by Gina Marie Designs. As always, each of these collections will also come with their own envelope. Collection 3 is called Watery Tropics. The paper pad is also called that, and the stamp set by Scrapping for Less is called Aloha, this beautiful under the sea image. Fine glitter by Desiree and enamel dots by Gina Marie Designs again. For Collection 4, this one's actually called In the Tropics, as the paper and the stamp set is as well. So that stamp set is just a little bit smaller, but you get some great sentiments and that image. You'll get some flowers by Desiree and sequins by Scrapping for Less. These items that you see here is what you will get with the double dip ingredient subscription and or purchase. For the banana split level, you will get everything in the double dip, plus a die set by Scrapping for Less, and unfortunately I don't have that here to show. You will get a watercolor paint set by Royal and Langnickel, which is absolutely great. You will get a pineapple stencil by Scrapping for Less and also a pack of sequins for Scrapping for Less. So a great level. So banana split level, you will get everything that you see here. Note, all items can and will be subject to change without notice, but only when it's necessary. So let's get started with card number 1. I am using sketch number 2, which of course is the slimline card. My slimline base measures 3.5 by 8.5, which means I cut it 8.5 by 7 and I score at 3.5 along the 7-inch side. I then have 2 panels to create a mat, and I used my circle dies to give me 3 circles. 2 larger on each side and a smaller one in the center. I am using those as mats, and I cut a size smaller using my nesting dies of the circles from the pattern paper, which is absolutely gorgeous. Just love these images. I grabbed some of the ephemera, and I'm going to use that as the focal points in each of my circles. I'm going to use my double-sided foam squares to prop these circles up, and also the images. So there is going to be lots of dimension on these. One of my subscribers, while I'm showing you how I put, 1, I can't speak, and 2, how I put double-sided foam squares in. One of my followers said, because I was saying, I'm going to have to make my own envelopes for my slimline cards because, yes, I've caught on to the addiction. I am absolutely in love with what you can do with a slimline card and what you can achieve. Again, the envelopes. To me, the envelopes were kind of pricey, those elongated. She said a number 10 envelope. And yes, she is absolutely correct. I like to go larger with my envelopes. Like, I don't get the standard A2 size envelope for my cards, even though they're standard A2 size. I get the next size envelope up. I forget what it is. I think it's 4 3/4 by 6.5, because I like that room, because in case I add all that dimension, my card will still fit. I don't have to worry about choosing which side. So same thing with an A10. It's a little bit bigger than this, but it is perfect for when I add dimension. So yay, you, thank you. You know who you are. I don't like to mention names on my videos. You know, I don't know if I have permission there. So I'm going to add some of the dots because I gabbed right through that. But I think this card is absolutely adorable. I love the colors with it. And I'm going to attach this down onto my slimline card base. I'll call it the standard 3.5 by 8.5. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the inside. I'm finding I'm doing that more because I don't want to cover up all the work that I did on the outside. So I chose the sentiment, happy birthday. Something very simple, something very basic. I'm going to prep it. I'm going to use my Gina K inks, and I'm just going to stamp that down in the bottom right-hand corner. And that pretty much is our first card. I love that little toucan. Too cute. For our next one, as always, I do take care of the coloring offline just to save time. So I took the plain pineapple, I stamped it twice, and I am using sketch number 4 in the bottom right-hand corner, and I am building my card as we speak. I'm going to put a fishtail in the base of this one, and that's going to sit on top of the smaller panel, and I'm working directly onto my standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and this is a top folding card. I'm going to glue this directly down onto that, and then I've just cut a very plain circle, and I've matted the image that I colored. I did use my Prismacolor colored pencils to color that image in. Going to use my double-sided foam squares to prop this up, and I'm going to set that kind of on the left-hand side and just up a little bit. I made a double bow from the twine, and I'm going to set that down right into the corner. I'm going to add some of the enamel dots to this, and that is our second card. For our third card, I stamped the image, but I created a circle, and that's the area that I colored in. I think it was Jane Delaney's cards who I saw, she did that, but I also see people doing that as well. You know, creating an image and just coloring in that image and leaving everything else plain. So I wanted to give that a try. I think it came out kind of cool. I did use my colored pencils to color that image in. I'm using sketch number 1, upper left-hand corner, with this collection, and they just showed 3 strips going up and down and sideways. I wanted to create a weave when it comes to those cardstocks. So once that was all together, I added my glue so that we could keep it in one piece as best as I can. The closer you get those strips, the tighter it will be. I do love to weave paper. I think it gives an awesome effect and a great texture when it comes to weaving those papers. I think it creates a cool illusion when it comes to that. I'm going to set in that last piece. And then set that down on my standard card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5. Once that's set, I will also, I've also matted the piece that I colored onto some black cardstock, just a very small, thin frame. I'm going to trim off the edges. And then add my panel. I will prop that up using some double-sided foam squares. Yes, can you tell I couldn't find my double-sided foam tape? I'm just saying. You know, we find ways to do things when we can't find other things. This is what I did. Oh, I hope everyone's doing good. We have been having some beautiful days. Usually I edit this part out. I felt the need to keep it all in. It's okay. The sun has been shining. No rain. Now we're going to have lots of rain because I said something. So I hope everyone's having some good weather as well. So that is what the front looks like. I did add some of the enamel dots. I'm going to set this down onto my standard A2 size card base. And I really like the look of finding that focal point and just, you know, but having a direct shape to it. Usually I do pick things out where it's something and I put that pop of color there and leave everything else black and white. So I've got lots of strips here. Just arranging them into some type of order and colors, making sure that they're all different. I'm then going to fishtail each of these and just create the banners down below. I am using sketch number 3, which is the bottom left. And once these are all done, we're just going to put that black strip, you know, on top. So this is a very fun, kit, you know, again, make us smile, look at different ways that we can create our summer or spring cards. I know we're supposed to be in summer, and we are, but to me, there's really no change anymore. The sun's out. Okay, this is supposed to be of the warm time. That's how I look at that. Once they're all set, we're going to take that black strip I'm actually looking, you know, when you do a voiceover, even though you've already made the cards, you sit here and you're like, you know, why did I do that? And I was kind of thinking, why did I do that? But I forgot. I wanted to do this. So again, I'm just making sure that these banners are within the black strip that I have there. All right. And also making sure that they're in the width of my card base, which of course, this is going to be a landscape card. So the width is going to be 5.5. So we need to make sure that they're sitting within that. Now also at the same time, I need to make sure I have the card sitting off to the side because I can't have the banners coming off of this. But this was the easiest way that I came up with to put this together. I am sure there are other ways. It would have been so much easier. But again, I'm good just flipping up the cardstock and gluing it and pushing it back down. I'm going to come in with my long shears and let the paper fly as I trim across the top of that black strip. And voila, we have our cardstocks in place. I finally did find my double-sided sticky tape there, foam tape. And the foam tape that I'm using is scrapbook.com. I am really liking their double-sided foam tape. I do wish, though, that it was kind of, sort of, at a better price point. But, you know, supplies. Sometimes they're expensive, sometimes they're not. But we continue to create. So I am going to use these awesome flowers. I'm going to put those together. The center one is, of course, the leaf, but I wanted it to show. And then I'm going to use the enamel dots from previous collections, from the first one, and also, I believe it was from the second one. The matte green and then the real pretty pink ones that will look different on each of those flowers. I'm going to set this panel onto my standard A2 size card base, and again, this will be a landscape card base, so the fold will be to the side. And that is that card. So for our last, I'm going to use the stencil and the watercolor set. Now let's talk about the watercolor set. I've always used Crayola. I think Crayola's watercolor set, the 8 color, because I like to mix. That helps me to mix my colors to get a feel for it, is awesome. I think this one is just as good. I really liked it. I liked the way that the colors looked. I liked the way that they worked. So this is really nice. I don't suggest the brush. The brush is not going to do what you need it to do. I am very pleased with the Nuvo paintbrush set. They have excellent brush choices in there, and they come to a beautiful point, an absolutely beautiful point. So if that's something that you're looking for. But yeah, very pleased. You can see I taped down the stencil, and you can see I'm keeping pressure on it with my hand as I'm just going over, filling that in. What I want to do is I want the color to go down, but I've got to keep pressure on it. I need the stencil, so I probably should have used the pixie spray, so that this would have laid completely flat onto this piece. But that's why I'm putting my glue bottle on top of that, to make sure that it stays down. One, that holds the watercolor where I want it, and it won't bleed too much. But I do want it to hold the image of it. Now, this is not going to be like blending, where you're going to see this direct image. It's not going to be crisp and clear like you would if you used your glitter gel. But it's going to look like watercolor. So it's kind of really cool. I do like to put watercolors down and then put a stencil on top, like a masking stencil, because you can see the image. And this is what it looks like. So everything looks really good. I just have that one there in the upper right-hand corner that kind of went a little quirky, but that's okay. I think this looks great. It's a watercolor look. It gives me a watercolor feel. And again, these watercolors do act very similar to the Crayola watercolors. Because when you have a lot and it doesn't move, you do get a shiny residue on that. I added the sentiment, "Tropic like it's hot." I thought that was cute. And here, of course, is the normal speed review of the cards that we made today, featuring the Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month card kit for July. And again, this month's theme is in the tropics. So I do hope you enjoyed the cards that we made today. I hope I inspired you with some of your creations if you do get this kit, or maybe you just saw something and said, I gotta have it. By all means, and as always, the links will be listed down below, again, for the ingredient sheet, for also the sketch sheet, and also, and most importantly, to your subscription or the purchase of this kit, and also to their shop and their blog for more inspiration as well. If you're on your computer, make sure you hit the show more. That will expand so that you can see the links. If you're on a mobile device, hit the arrow pointing down, and then that will expand as well. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to be part of my group here so that you can see how I cannot speak because I try to talk too fast. We have fun here, and I show you many ways that paper can be used in our crafting and the art that we can create with it. So please do join us. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Continue to stay safe and healthy as always. But remember what's most important for me. Always be creative, everyone. Till next time.